Welcome to Tantrum House Studio D. I'm Kevin Delp.
And I'm Melissa Delp.
Today we're looking at Harvest by Tasty Minstrel Games. Harvest is a 2 to 4 player worker placement game designed by Trade Chambers and published by Tasty Minstrel Games.
In Harvest, you're playing as farmers working the fields in Gull's Bottom. You'll have to manage resources like fertilizer and water to be able to grow carrots, pumpkins, and other interesting crops. At the end of 5 rounds, the player with the most points wins.
The components include a town board, character boards, farm boards and extra fields, action cards, initiative cards, building cards, resource tokens, crop tokens, and farmers for each player.
Before the game starts, each player takes a farm board and chooses a character. Each character has different abilities and starting resources. You can also choose to play as the standard farmer, Will Plantsomdill. He is on the reverse side of each character board.
Turn order for each round is determined through a draft of randomized initiative cards. Each card also has an immediate benefit. You'll often get better benefits if you choose to go later in turn order.
But going later in turn order could cause you to miss out on buying a specific building or taking the action you really want. The action cards change each round and have space for only one farmer. In town, you'll always be able to take an action, but the better spots, the double actions, are limited.
Most of the actions give you resources or they allow you to farm. To plant, you'll need seeds or crops and fertilizer. Once planted, you can tend your crops using water or elixir. Tending increases the number of your crops. When you want to clear out the fields, you can harvest.
For some of the seeds, their value really increases once they're planted and become crops. The number of stars shows how many points they're worth. The crops also serve as your currency. You'll need to spend them to pay the cost for building, for purchasing certain resources, and for paying for some actions.
There are only 5 rounds in the game, so it goes pretty quickly. So you need to manage your resources and optimize your actions well throughout the game. If you can get enough fertilizer and water, you could plant or tend a number of your fields in one action.
Yeah, there are definitely some interesting decisions to make, like whether you choose to go earlier in the turn order or hold off and try to get a better benefit and hope that those action spaces are still available when it gets to your turn. You also have decisions about which seeds and crops that you try to plant, and then when is it worth it to give up those crops? Those are worth points, but you can give them up to pay for other things.
Some of the strategy and decisions are influenced by your character's abilities. Some require fewer resources for farming, like Bo Mud and Princess P. Madonna. Others, like Gus Arborfall, Bailey Haystacks, and Imhotep, have abilities related to buildings.
The game's easy to pick up. The options aren't overwhelming, but you do have to think through those choices because making sure you get the right stuff is important. If you have tons of water, but you don't have any crops to tend, then it's kind of pointless.
The illustrations are fun and playful. Each character has a lot of personality, and the icons are clear. The tokens are good quality, and the fertilizer, well, you know what people actually call them.
The gameplay is smooth and it makes logical sense. Get seeds, plant seeds, tend them, and then harvest. You can even get buildings that are not only worth points, but they can help you progress your farming even faster.
Yeah, so if you like worker placement games or you like this quirky farming theme, then you should check out Harvest by Tasty Minstrel Games.